Dadju, mon mari, voici mon cœur. Voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir? Salut tout le monde, je m'appelle Shadé et bienvenue à ma chaîne. Comme promis, aujourd'hui je fais cette vidéo parce que je voudrais expliquer comment j'ai appris la langue française et j'espère que je peux t'aider à apprendre la langue. Alors, allons-y. J'apprends le français depuis 14 mois, je pense. Ouais, 14 mois. Attends, je sais que tu penses 14 mois. Qui dit ça? Moi, je dis ça. Tu sais pourquoi? Parce que c'est difficile à dire en français. Comme Ouais, c'est difficile. C'est pour ça je dis 14 mois. Ben ouais. Laisse-moi continuer. J'apprends le français depuis 14 mois et maintenant, bien sûr, je parle par couramment. En fait, j'ai fait beaucoup de zéros, mais c'est normal quand tu apprends une nouvelle langue. Aujourd'hui, je voudrais te donner des conseils sur la façon dont j'ai appris la langue et j'espère que je peux t'aider. Alright guys, yeah, like I said in my last video, I wanted to give you guys some tips on how I learned French and how I can also help you to learn French. Now, let me start out by letting y'all know. In 6 months, you ain't gonna be able to be like, no, you ain't gonna be like that. But you will be able to have basic conversations. If you go to a French-speaking country, you'll be able to order your food, ask for directions, get directions. You know what I'm talking about? Scream at your favorite French artist concert. That I sing you. Yes, so you will be able to do that. Now, let me say this. Prior to December 2018, my knowledge of French was very limited. All I knew how to do was say the months of the year, days of the week. I knew how to count from 1 to 10, say j'aime les garçons et j'aime le chocolat. And I also knew that, French kind of funny. They spell things kind of funny. That's all I knew. I did Spanish from like grade 3 all the way through college. So I knew that was going to be boring. And that's kind of the reason why I chose French. So December 2018 is when I first started learning French. And the first thing I started using was, wait for it, Duolingo. Now, I ain't getting paid by Duolingo. They ain't sponsoring this. They ain't paying me, girl. But I'm just letting you know that that's what I use and it worked for me. Now, I know a lot of people don't really like Duolingo, but I will say that it's super useful if you are a beginner and you just want to get an introduction to the language and also to build your vocabulary. It is very helpful for you, so I would recommend it. When you're completing your little trees on Duolingo, be sure to read the tips because they are so important. They are très important, okay? Because it gives you the basic structure of the language and it tells you the little things that you really need to know to be able to speak the language fluently. If you think you're gonna learn or be fluent in French just by using Duolingo, it ain't gonna happen. It is not gonna happen. It's one of those apps that you have to use in conjunction with something else because there's just not enough resources on there for you to become fluent. But as a beginner, I definitely would recommend it to you. So I used Duolingo for the first 3 months of learning. That was the only thing that I was using. Then I was like, yo, I'm kind of liking this and I'm doing good or whatever. I think I could live in Paris, Paris, oui, oui. So then I decided I wanted to learn some more about the language and immerse myself more into the language. So the second thing I did was I went on to Google and typed in French music and I stumbled upon Dadju's music. Now, I wasn't worried about translating the songs or, understanding the words. I just wanted to listen to it just to get my ear used to the language and the sounds of the language. So I wasn't really worried much about translating the songs at that point. So yeah, I listened to a lot of Dadju. I actually found Angel's album Brol as well. I listened to that a lot. Like every day I would listen to it. So if you're going to do this, don't be finding no songs from your mama's days or the days before that or no, I don't know, Beethoven version of a French song. If you're gonna do that with a language, find music that you like and you can listen to just on the regular. Like for Dadju, he's kind of like that fusion between I don't know, R&B and Afrobeats, which I both love. So, you know, when I listen to the song, I'm not dreading it. It's like a vibe, so I could rock out to it. You know what I'm saying? And because I love music, that is why I chose to go that way. Now that I think about it, does anybody not like music? Like, if we really think of, like, is there one person that would be like, nah, I don't think I'll pass on the music part? Is there a person like that? Let me know. Let me know down below if there's that depressing person in existence. All right, so for about the third month, third to fourth month at this point, I'm probably at a like, I want to say 10% speaking the language. I definitely could not understand anything spoken French, and I definitely couldn't read well. I just knew how to make basic sentences. So I was at an A1 level for about 3 to 4 months. And if you don't know what the levels of language learning are, I will link it below to let you know what the different levels are. But A1, like I said, is just a beginner's level. Then at month 4, I stumbled up on an app that changed the language learning game forever, y'all. That app is Tandem. Once again, I am not getting paid by these people, but let me tell you, it works. So basically, Tandem is like the Tinder of language learning. You go on it and you meet people who speak the language that you were trying to learn. And the way it works is you sign up for the app, blah, blah, blah. Then you will put in the language that you're trying to learn. So let's say you're trying to learn French or Spanish. You put those in, and then you put in what language you speak. And then the app will then generate people in your feed who are trying to learn English and speak French and or Spanish. So you really get to immerse yourself and speak to people who speak the language. And on the app, you can send messages, you can send voice notes, you can call. And one of the other cool things about the app is that when you write in a certain language, they give the person the opportunity to like correct your sentences and, you know, make it perfect for you. There's also a translator on it, so you don't have to worry about like not knowing or going back and forth between the app, because there's a whole translator on it. So when I tell you that app changed the game for me, y'all. By this time, I'm still making basic sentences, but I did meet some really cool people on the app who became my friends. And that's when I really started to work on like my reading, because we would text every day and we would type to each other every day. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm learning to read at this point, but I still wasn't speaking. And one of the guys I talked to, he lives in Paris. He speaks more English than I speak French. So a lot of the times with him, I would get very lazy. And if I don't know how to say something in French, I would just say it in English and he would understand. Then I started talking to my friend in Marseille, and he probably speaks English at 5% at best. He barely speaks English. So when I was speaking to him on the phone, I had to learn to listen. I had to learn how to speak. And that's when my speaking and comprehension really picked up. I spoke to him on the phone every day. In the beginning, I was on the phone with him on speaker and Google Translate all at the same time, just trying to get it going. But over time, about by month 5 and 6, I was able to have these conversations because we talk about the same thing every day. Salut, salut, ça va? Ouais, ça va? Qu'est-ce que tu fais? Je suis au boulot. That's it, every day. So you have no choice at that point but to learn the language. So yeah, by month 6, with the assistance of Duolingo, I was still completing my trees and I was still listening to Daju at this point. I started listening to more artists, Take and Franglish, and just getting my ear acclimated to the language. And by month 6, I was in there. Right now, I am not fluent at all. I'm still obviously learning. And I did say earlier in the video that I've been learning for about 14 months. And that's because after about month 6, I kind of fell off a little bit. You know, I had to move and got a new job and life happened. So I haven't been using Duolingo or Tandem or anything like that. However, I still listen to French music every day. And just by me following different artists on Instagram, you know, I'll read their little feeds and in French, or I'll listen to their videos and watch their videos. So even though I'm not actively learning, I'm still taking in a lot of French in different areas of my life. So yeah, those 3 apps, I would say Tandem, Duolingo, and listen to the music were the 3 major ways that I learned to French in the first 6 months. However, there are other apps that I use along the way as well. One of them is Google Translate. Now, Google Translate, I mean, it's good. It's got a whole bunch of languages on there, and for the most part, it's pretty good at translating stuff. Now, I will say that if you use Google Translate, you have to take it with a grain of salt, because a lot of the times Google Translate translates things directly, and sometimes that ain't what you're looking for. You know what I'm saying? They kind of missing the whole cultural context, or they're missing some. So I will say that if you're gonna use Google, remember that a lot of the times it's not all the way perfect. But I think that's something that you will learn, especially once you're talking to other people who speak the language and you're learning the slangs and the everyday speak. You will then realize where the errors are in Google Translate. The next app that I used as like a supplement, which I discovered probably around I would say 5. And month 5 is when I knew sentences at this point. I'd say I was at a month 5. I'm still at a A1 moving into the A2 level. And this is now where I wanted to focus more on conjugating my verse properly. Make sure that I'm saying it in the past tense versus the present tense, you know what I mean? So the app that I found for that one is called Conjugaison, I think. I want to say that's called. I'm going to link it, or I'll show you a video here of it. But yeah, that app, let me tell you, you gonna need it, girl. You gonna need it, guy. Y'all gonna need it. It is so super helpful with knowing the future tense, l'imparfait, your passé composé. It is very important, and you're gonna draw on that like a lot, okay? In addition to that app, I changed my Netflix to French. And when you change your Netflix to French, it gives you a lot of, in your feed, you'll find a lot of French films and movies as suggestions to watch. And what I've done is a lot of my English shows, I actually watch them in French. I'll put them in French with English subtitles. And at some point, I actually ended up watching, I think about 2 films so far I've watched fully in French with French subtitles, because I want to practice reading along. Now, I didn't understand everything in the movie now. Don't think I'm out here like, yeah, girl, I say, ah, you know what I'm saying? But it's film. I mean, even if you're watching a silent film, you pretty much get the gist of what's going on. So it's the same thing that happened, but I was still training my eyes and my ears to pay attention to the language. Yeah, guys, but I think that's all that I've done in the last 6 months. The best thing I can say to you is just use the apps. And in the beginning, when you're starting off, I think this is one of the mistakes that I made, and why I think I hadn't progressed enough, is that I paid more attention to speaking than I did understanding. Let me tell you what happened. I went to a meeting about month 3. I'm thinking, yeah, you know what I'm talking about? I could be up in France right now. So I decided to go to a meeting, a monthly meeting of these Francophones in my neighborhood. And when I tell you, I got to that meeting, they was all like parlaying, and I'm like, yeah. I left that meeting so discouraged, because I felt like, yo, I've been practicing this whole time and I can't understand anything. So once I left, I made comprehension my number 1 priority, and then speaking was secondary, because I think once you're able to understand and listen to the language, you will know what to say eventually, but just don't make it the primary thing. It's a secondary thing. And number 2 is, there are some people who like to practice the language in silence. Don't do it. Don't do it. Say it out loud all the time. Trust me, when I tell you, I be saying like that, I be saying that thing real good in my head, but then when I say it out loud, it don't come out right. So I really say you have to say it out loud. Practice out loud so you know how you sound when you're doing the language. But yeah, guys, that's all I've done to learn French. I hope all that I've told you today will be helpful in your language journey. And please understand that this is not only for French. All the apps that I've given you today, except for the conjugation app, those are all, they've got several languages available, so you can use them to your disposal. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning into my video. Make sure you hit that like button, that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that notification button so you know when your girl posts new videos. And also, remember, each time you hit that subscription button, you're supporting a person who can potentially be out here stripping for a living. Okay, so don't let that happen to me, y'all. Y'all like and subscribe, please and thank you. All right, guys, I'm gonna get out of here, and I'll see you in my next video. Now, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao.